It was a crisp morning on the outskirts of a bustling city. The quiet hum of the countryside was occasionally interrupted by the distant roar of motorcycles speeding down a winding road. A group of 5 motorcyclists, clad in leather jackets and helmets, were enjoying their usual weekend ride. Known for their camaraderie and love for adventure, this group was a tight-knit band of friends who always had each other's backs. Little did they know, this day would test their courage like never before. As they neared a sharp bend, the lead rider, Marcus, noticed something peculiar on the side of the road. At first it looked like just another roadside object, but as they approached they saw a large German shepherd lying motionless on the gravel. Its police vest, slightly torn and dirty, was unmistakable. "Marcus, stop!" Marcus shouted through his helmet. The group skidded to a halt, their tires kicking up dust. They dismounted their bikes and cautiously approached the dog. The sight was heartbreaking. The K9, bleeding from its side and panting heavily, looked up at them with pleading eyes. Its badge glinted faintly in the sunlight, confirming it was no ordinary dog. It was a police K9. "Marcus, what happened to you, buddy?" Marcus murmured as he crouched beside the dog. The K9 flinched but didn't growl. It was as if it understood they were there to help. "Alex, guys, I see tire tracks leading off the road. Something bad must have happened here." Without wasting time, they called the local authorities to report the injured dog, but the dispatcher said it would take at least 30 minutes for animal control to arrive. The group knew the dog didn't have that long. It needed immediate help. "Marcus, we're not waiting. We're getting him to the nearest vet ourselves." The group improvised a makeshift stretcher, using their leather jackets, and carefully placed the K9 onto it. They secured the stretcher between 2 motorcycles and rode slowly, ensuring the dog was stable. The nearest veterinary clinic was nearly 20 miles away. As they rode through town, other motorists honked in frustration. But the group didn't care. They had one mission: to save this dog. Halfway through the journey, the dog let out a weak bark and tried to lift its head. It was a small but hopeful sign that it was holding on. When they finally reached the clinic, the staff sprang into action. The group stayed in the waiting room, pacing anxiously until a veterinarian emerged hours later. "He's stable. You got him here just in time. Another half an hour and we might have lost him. He had a bullet wound, but we've treated it." "Marcus, bullet wound?" "Vet, yes. This K9 must have been on duty when he got separated from his handler. I've already contacted the police department. They'll send someone to retrieve him." Later that evening, a police car pulled up outside the clinic. A man in uniform stepped out, his face etched with worry. The K9, now awake and bandaged, let out an excited bark the moment it saw him. "Detective Harris Rex!" the officer called, rushing to embrace the dog. The officer, Detective Harris, explained the harrowing backstory. He and Rex had been chasing a dangerous suspect when their car was ambushed. In the chaos, Rex had leaped out of the car to protect Harris, but the suspect fired a shot, grazing the dog's side. Amidst the confusion, Rex had run off, leaving Harris devastated. "Detective Harris, I thought I'd lost him. You saved him. I can't thank you enough." The motorcyclist brushed off the praise. But Harris wouldn't let their heroism go unnoticed. A few weeks later, the group received a surprise invitation to the police department's annual ceremony. As they stood on stage, Harris recounted the story of Rex's rescue to a standing ovation. The K9, now fully recovered, wagged his tail and barked in approval, as if to thank his rescuers himself. But the inexplicable part came later that night. As Marcus was gearing up to leave the ceremony, Rex approached him and placed something at his feet. It was Harris's badge, the one Rex had been wearing the day he was injured. "Detective Harris, he's never done that before. It's like he knows you're a hero too." From that day on, the group became local legends, not just for their daring rescue, but for proving that compassion and courage can come from the most unexpected places. And Rex, he returned to duty, but every time he saw a motorcycle, his tail wagged a little faster, as if remembering the day a group of riders saved his life.